All right. All right, what's going on, guys? We're here. Let me get my always be getting my lotion game. How y'all doing, man? We're here. About to get commercials popping. Hold on. Wait. What's going on with y'all? Welcome to another episode of Tariq Live. Let me get my. All right, there you go. I didn't dab it up fast enough. All right, let me let everybody know on the gram that I'm here and that we can get it really popping like we need to get it popping. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. It's a holiday weekend, right? It's Rosh Hashanah. What's the holiday weekend, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on one second. Let me let this gram know that I'm doing it. All right, hold on one second. And I hope you guys had a great week, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And I hope you guys have Hidden Colors 5, the DVD, or you can stream the joint now. You can go to hiddencolorsfilm.com. You can rock the DVD, or you can stream it. Either or. It's best to have both. I say, ladies and gentlemen, you watch the stream and you cop the DVD because we need to have tangible items that you can keep on your person just in case something goes down with the internet. We're going to talk a lot about the internet on today's broadcast. We're going to talk about that. All right? A lot of stuff we're going to touch on. I have my authentic Crenshaw hoodie. Now that it's getting cool, I've had it for a while. Got it from my brother's store, Nipsey's Marathon store. R.I.P. to our brother. This is the authentic Crenshaw joint from the Marathon store. It's just been too hot to wear it. Now it's finally cooling down out here in LA. Finally, we got some cool weather. I'm glad. Shit, I'm tired of sweating all the damn time out here. You dig? But everybody come on in the room. Let me have everybody hit the thumbs up. Let's get that out the way. Everybody in the room, please hit the thumbs up and then hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and then hit that bell, which will give you notifications when we're doing the broadcast. Yeah, you need that hoodie, man. R.I.P. to our brother. R.I.P. to our brother. Man, so many things we got to get into. Folks are piling on in the room. I want the family to throw me some suggestions of who you think should be in the new Buck Breaking film. I'm getting the cast together now. There's a lot of new people that I'm going to have in the Buck Breaking film. Some real powerful sisters I'm going to have in it. I'm going to have a lot of new faces in this one. And we're going to have some of the old school family in there. I'm definitely going to have our brother Phil Valentine in it. He's real deep with some of that stuff. I definitely want to get Judge Joe Brown. Somebody said Malik Yoba. I would get Malik Yoba. Why are you playing? I definitely want to get Judge Joe Brown. Shout out to Zach for hitting the Cash App. And for those who want to hit the donate, you can hit the Cash App, which would be easier. That's KingFlex818 on Cash App for those who want to give to the Melanoid Ministries. That's $KingFlex818 for those who want to contribute to the Melanoid Ministries. But yeah, we're going to have some real good people in it. We're going to have some very good people in this one. Buck Breaking is so needed now. Family, if we ever needed a film like Buck Breaking, we need it now. Family, it's getting the agenda, the targeting of black males in the targeting of children. It's getting to epidemic proportions right now. They're targeting us so heavy. And right now, even the most skeptical people, you can't deny that there is an agenda at this point. Yes, I definitely want to get Bishop Swan as well. Absolutely. I want to get Lord Jamal, right. But at this point, even the biggest skeptics, you can't deny the agenda now. The agenda is so insane. I saw something at a high school down in Memphis, and I put this on my gram. Excuse me. I saw this. Hold on. Let me find it for the family. Let me find this for the family. This was on the gram. Where is this thing? Where is this thing? Where is this thing? Where is this thing? Come on, where is it? Okay, where the hell did it go that fast? Okay, I retweeted it. Hold on, let me do this. Let me find it for you guys. I retweeted it. That's why I can't see it real. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right. But this was from a high school down in Memphis. What is it? This black boy right here at White Station High. We crowned our 2019 homecoming royalty. They tried to say royalty to kind of clean it up. But he's the homecoming queen. Congrats to senior Brandon Allen. So they got this black boy up here in a tiara and a dress with his big, ashy, broad fucking shoulders out. Okay? This is an agenda. And I see a lot of white people. Let me tell you something, black people. And they always do stuff like this to black folks. They'll make the overweight black girl the homecoming queen. See, the white supremacists, they love doing some undermining type of things to us, things that are underhanded and things that undermine us, and then act like it's a positive. And we're so damn silly, we go for it. Black people understand this. When too many people in the dominant society are just giving you extra praise, you got to kind of question it. You got to question that. The problem is this. When black people get praises and accolades from those in the dominant society, not only do a lot of black people not question it, black people welcome it because you thirst for it. A lot of black people thirst for the dominant white society to praise them. You feel like you're still on a plantation. A lot of people, not only people who have the plantation mentality, you got a lot of these people from other societies, they've been broken. So there's a lot of black people who are desperate for that white approval. This is why they lay it on thick when you do something stupid, when you do something that undermines yourself and undermines your community. This is why they really lay it on thick. This is why you see white people fake praising Diamond and Silk. You know, they act like Diamond and Silk are just the most hilarious things ever, and they're laughing at them because they know that they're using these fools to undermine black society. So they lay it on thick. Oh God, Diamond and Silk, they're so funny. And all they do is get out there and just say shit in a loud, stereotypical voice. You better build that wall. Oh God, they're so funny. Look at how they give so many praises and accolades to black people who are carrying their agenda, but who are really mediocre. Just like somebody brought up Lil Nas X. Perfect example. Lil Nas X is a novelty rapper. There is absolutely nothing special or spectacular about Lil Nas X. There's nothing special about it. And I'm not trying to disparage the guy. He's not an exceptionally talented guy. He's not an exceptionally good dancer. You saw those dance moves he was doing on one of them award shows. It was stiff as fuck. and they're putting him on Time Magazine. They're overly praising this guy because he has an agenda. You know, they overly praise you, just like with Lizzo, the sister Liz. They overly praise her and parade her around and laugh at her. You know, they do that. They did the same thing, remember, with Gabby Sidibe. They get the overweight black woman who's morbidly obese and then start parading her around in fashion magazines. They've always done that as an insult. It's a backhanded compliment. They like parading us. I call it King Konging. They like to King Kong us around. And when you look at the movie King Kong, what did they do? A bunch of rich white people got King Kong, got him on stage. Oh, God, look at that. Look at a big old monkey. Look at a big fucking gorilla. Wow. Look at it. They're King Konging niggas. Yeah? And we're so desperate for approval, we go for Billy Porter. They put him in clown outfits and dress him up and parade him around and talk about he's the first gay this, and then Lil Nas X is the first gay that. And what they do, they parade Negroes around as their mascots and then piggyback off of their fake accomplishments, which they orchestrated. So when they get Lil Nas X and says he's the first rapper to have an open gay rapper to have a #1 record that lasts the longest on the charts, the white LGBT community, who's inherently anti-black, they get to chalk that up as a victory for them. Billy Porter, whenever he goes out there and they give him fake accolades and fake praises, and so he's the first openly gay person to get an Emmy, they chalk that up as something on the white LGBT resume. See, what they're doing, they're creating LGBT history right now. Remember, they're going to start teaching LGBT history in schools. The problem is, there is no LGBT history. There is no such thing as LGBT history. That's why nobody can tell you what it is. What the hell is LGBT history? There is no such thing as LGBT history. What do you mean? Because we already talk about people who are LGBT in the context of history. When we talk about J. Edgar Hoover, he's LGBT history, but see, they don't want to own that. They don't want to own all the negatives that he did. Alexander the so-called Great was LGBT. Remember, he was gay or bisexual. Alexander the Great was out there tearing up pussy all over the place over there. Greek history is LGBT history. I was just over in Greece. Dude, you should see some of the statues over there. You should see, just hell, you at a store somewhere and they have souvenirs where dudes are busting it open on each other. I mean, it's out in the open over there. You understand? So what they're going to do, they have to try to incorporate their history into some type of civil rights struggle. See, this is why they latch on to our civil rights. See, they don't have a history. So they have to make it seem like they are part of some kind of resistance, some type of civil rights struggle. And this is why they're latching on to us. And this is why they get black mascots out here so that they can do things with them and promote them a certain way and then chop that up as a victory for the LGBT community. Just like the Stonewall thing. They chop that up as an LGBT historical event, but that was really a racial event. Yeah? And remember, I told y'all about the whole game. It's all about transhumanism. They're trying to create a whole medical industry out of this. And another thing, they focus on this trans thing because in order to be trans, you have to be on medicines all your life. You understand? And what they want to do, they're creating a trans industry. And by creating a trans industry and trying to focus on black society, what they'll do, they'll try to stop our birth rates. It's real heavy. It's real heavy, family. This is why what they want to do, they want to start recruiting through pedophilia. They want to start recruiting through pedophilia. When they start promoting, they get these trans activists and all these people talking about going, let's get unisex bathrooms and let's do drag queen readings. Why do y'all think, let's just talk turkey. Why do y'all think they're promoting that so heavy? Why is it so important for a drag queen to read to a child? Why is it so important for there to be unisex bathrooms? Why is that so important? What's the desire? What benefit are we getting from having a drag queen read to children? There's only one value from that. That is to introduce pedophilia to the children. Multiple cases have come out where some of these people doing these drag queen readings, many of them are registered pedophiles. A lot of people are complaining that these people going to libraries and schools, reading to these children, many of them are pedophiles. They're convicted pedophiles. As a matter of fact, a lot of these activists, some of these people who are the main ones going out here talking about how we need to create unisex bathrooms and all this, some of these trans activists, when you look at them, like this person here, this is a trans activist right here. Name was Dakota Neves. And this person was an activist, and he produced videos of himself abusing young children sexually. Now, this is one of the main people who was out here talking about we need to remove the male-female bathrooms. Transgender activist facing 50 years in prison for raping a 4-year-old girl on video. Now, I'm showing the picture here. Now, look at this. Transgender man who 7 months ago urged locals in Lawrenceville to vote yes on a veto referendum enabling those who identify as transgender to access locker rooms and similar facilities designated for the opposite sex has now been slapped with the sexual exploitation of a child charge. Now, what's interesting, family, when you look this story up, of Jacob Neves, that's his real name. Now, most of the stories, when you look up, they'll show something like this. They'll show a stock photo. They wouldn't show this person's picture. Now, this is heavy. This is how the media is in on this stuff, too. Remember, it's big money people orchestrating this whole trans agenda. Many stories about this trans man, and I'm not going to call him a woman, that's a trans man. Many stories omitted the picture of this person. Not only that, many stories kept referring to him as a woman. So if you read a lot of the mainstream articles on this, you wouldn't know that it was a trans person doing this. You wouldn't know that it was a trans person because they were using stock photos in a lot of the mainstream media outlets. So I'm like, wait, when I first heard the story, I'm like, wait, something is weird. How come they're not showing this person's face? How come they're not showing this woman's face? And also, why is the woman named Jacob? Those two things caught me. Jacob Neves? Well, a woman named Jacob had molested some kids. Oh, that's weird. Then I started looking in the story. And then I actually looked up the case. Dude. Man, I didn't even post the details of the case on here. It was like, well, Jacob Neves, who's a trans identifying person, was on a website called Kick, one of those websites, and she didn't know that she was talking to an undercover agent, and she was sending pornographic images of her with her penis in the mouth of a 4-year-old. Like, what? Her penis? I mean, when you look at the actual report, it says this. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Man, I ain't going for this bullshit, dude. And if we resist this, all of a sudden we supposed to be homophobic or transphobic if we resist that type of fucking filth. That's filth, man. They're trying to buck break black society by promoting this type of stuff. You understand? See, they're really trying to get us on board with this stuff. They're desperate to get us on board with it. Because black society, again, we've been very anti-pedophilia openly. Now, there's pedophilia within black society, but it's secret, underground that nobody knows about. It's some stuff it's not generally accepted in black American society. And I've always said this, black Americans were the only group of people. We do not have an open pedophile society. We don't have a system of open pedophilia, meaning you cannot come around black people and somebody's going to direct you where to get some damn kids for sex. It doesn't happen. You dig? But when you look up many of these cases, and let me go back to my Twitter. I mean, this is not a coincidence. As soon as they start passing these laws, all of a sudden you see this, another transgender woman accused of sexually assaulting a teen in a bathroom, in a Walmart bathroom. And there's so many cases, I'm like, I'll just be posting all day. This is another one. A transgender woman threatened to stab a 10-year-old girl's mother during a sexual assault in the female toilet. There's another man and put a wig on and went in the bathroom and tried to rape a girl and then tried to stab the girl's mother. Another one, a convicted child rapist who identifies as a woman abused another child. They're raping girls, by the way. See, these are so-called women, but they're raping girls. Another transgender woman sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl in a bathroom. So now, all a man has to do is put on a wig and go in a girl's bathroom, and then he gets it popping. You just put on a wig and go in a bathroom, and bam, now you got protection from the law. Dude, and they know this. This is orchestrated for this. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing by promoting this. They knew exactly what would happen when they started doing this. They knew this was to encourage pedophilia. As soon as these laws start getting passed and these little edicts and all that stuff starts getting passed, the raping of children is just skyrocketing. And when you have this, especially when you start teaching it in schools, especially when they're going to start trying to do it in black schools, because we're really vulnerable and susceptible to this type of stuff. What you're doing, this is how you recruit. So now you're helping in the creation of the trans industry, because when you're molesting children, so most likely they're going to turn out sexually confused, possibly trans. So they're going to be sexually, and just like the person who molested them. So now you're creating an industry. You're creating an industry now. So you go out here and start getting these children. You get them early. See, they want to target these kids. Obama, yeah, he was a part of this bullshit with his whack ass. But you start getting these kids and turning them out early. See, the white supremacists, they think like chess players. They think 10, 20 years down the line. You dig? So all of this stuff that they're talking about, this illogical bullshit about just because you got a dick don't mean you a man, all that stuff to adults, yeah, it sounds stupid because it is stupid. But when you say that to children who's the real target, that confuses them. They don't know what to believe. That's the point. They want confusion. But the children, you understand? That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game, family. So when these children grow up after being recruited at this age now, a kid getting story time by the drag queen read to him and all this stuff, 20 years from now, 10, 15 years from now, all of a sudden he's going to be in a clinic with the new insurance policy trying to get a sex change. You understand? They're creating an industry right under our noses right now. They are creating an industry right under our noses. And like our brother Neely Fuller said, they're going to try to make the black woman's vagina obsolete. Notice they're getting these black trans boys or gay dudes replacing sisters, just like that black homecoming queen. A little black girl could have won that. A black girl can't win that because this big burly dude is up here in a glittery damn prom dress. Notice they're targeting Black Girls Rock. Forget about Black Girls Rock. How come black trans can't be a part of that? See, they're trying to replace the black girls. The white supremacists are orchestrating this. The white supremacists are orchestrating this, family. It's real heavy. They're going to try to make the black woman obsolete. The black woman's vagina is going to be obsolete. This is what Neely has been telling us. Yes, they got trans MMA fighters. They got trans women, MMA fighters fighting women. Transgender boxers. It's heavy out here, family, and we have to resist. And we have to understand the concept of leaderless resistance. But we got to get into that. Leaderless resistance. That's a philosophy of the white supremacist movement. I mean, not the white supremacist, but the white extremist movement, because there's white supremacy. White supremacy is that's your daily, everyday, average white supremacist. But you have white extremists. And the white extremist movement, as we now see it, is based on the leaderless resistance concept. Back in, let's go deep. Can we get deep? Let's get deep. Let's get deep. We're going to get deep tonight. And as a matter of fact, let's do some lessons. See, everybody get your pens. Everybody get your pens. Let's go deep. The leaderless resistance philosophy started to take, they planted the seed back in the 80s, early 90s. All right? Back in the 80s, early 90s. And the white supremacists back then, Louis Beam, Tom Metzer, all of these people, see, they thought generationally. See, we have to, just like I said earlier about how the white supremacists, they think 10, 20, 30 years down the line. See, we have to start thinking like that. Yeah, I want you to get a pen because I want y'all to write some of this stuff down that I'm saying so you can look it up and study. We got to start thinking generationally. See, other groups, they know when it's time to sacrifice for the next generation. Other groups, they will sacrifice themselves for the next generation. They'll sacrifice so the next generation can live, so the next generation can thrive. So they'll put themselves on the line for the next generation. This is why we give it up to some of our brothers in the 60s. We got to give it up to some of our brothers who sacrificed themselves. A lot of brothers still in prison now so that black people could enjoy certain things, so the new generation could enjoy certain things. We have to give praise to that. A lot of times we forget about the brothers who are still on lockdown. We forget about a lot of the brothers who are still on lockdown from the 60s, early 70s. A lot of them brothers put in some damn good work to fight against systematic white supremacy. Brothers sacrificed their lives. Brother Fred Hampton, a lot of brothers sacrificed their lives who was about that life. A lot of brothers did. We even got to give it up to Tupac. Tupac was a rider, remember. We got to understand when Tupac shot 2 off-duty police officers when he saw non-justice. Tupac did that. Tupac's stepdad, Mutulu, all those people, yeah. So we have to understand when people put themselves on the line. You understand? But the leaderless resistance concept started to be born in the 80s. Louis Bean, who was a very prominent white supremacist, I think he was the leader of the Aryan Nation at the time. At the time, a lot of them were being targeted in the 80s because they had all these little organizations, the Klan that was trying to make a big comeback, and the skinheads were big at the time, and they kept getting infiltrated. So they had to come up with some new strategies. They said, wait a minute, we got to stop this. So we got to stop having a hierarchical organization. We got to stop. That's not going to work no more. We can't have the Klan. That's why you don't hear too much about the Klan right now. Now, we can't have all these organizations like that no more where there's a leadership, there's a leader here and all that. No, we're going to get infiltrated. So we're going to have leaderless resistance. What we're going to have to do is have a philosophy. We got a philosophy, and we have different cells of people who are going to adhere to that philosophy. So we don't have to have a certain group or whatever, because if one group or one cell gets infiltrated, then we have all these other cells. So you can't target every single cell. And then they said, Tom Metzger was one of the people promoting this. They were like, we need to start infiltrating law enforcement. And that's exactly what they did. We need to start infiltrating law enforcement. We need to start infiltrating political spectrum. So we can, and one of the reasons why they wanted to infiltrate law enforcement so that they had people on the inside who would warn others when there was about to be a raid. And I'm telling you now, the police work with these white supremacists today. When those white supremacists orchestrated that assassination on my ass right here in my home, when the police came, well, they were already here, but when they were putting down a report, I'm talking to the police, I'm talking to LAPD, and I'm realizing it's clicking on me. I'm like, you guys are in on this shit with them. I'm saying this in my mind. I'm talking to the police, and some of the stuff they were saying, the way they were acting, it clicked. I'm like, you motherfuckers are in on this shit. Y'all were in on this. Because they tried to play it off as swatting, and swatting is something that gamers do. Problem is, I'm not a gamer. So what happened, one of their cells called 911 and started describing all the guns I had in my house. They called them and described every type of gun I had in the house. And to this day, the police won't tell me how the fuck did they know how many guns and what kind of guns I had. How the hell did you know what type of guns I had? They described every gun that I had. How would some random person know that? You dig? So they got silent about that. Yeah, the person called up and said, yeah, I got this gun, I got that gun, I got that. I mean, they described every single gun that I had. You dig? So that's why I was cool. I was calm. I'm like, okay, okay, all right, okay, all right, I see you. So I know for a fact that these people are working with these damn white supremacists. You dig? They're working with these folks. And the white supremacists back in the 80s and 90s, they orchestrated that. They were like, it's going to be more difficult to hit up these cells than it is to hit up a particular group. And this is why you have all of these white supremacists now doing the lone wolf thing. Tom Metzger, he was the person who orchestrated, he coined the whole lone wolf attacks. That way, when people carry out the agenda of white supremacy, there's plausible deniability. So when a Dylan Roof, who's a terror cell, he's a part of the terror cell, there's plausible deniability. So there's nobody they can really physically connect him to who gave him his orders. It was the philosophy. You understand? They have a base philosophy, and this is why they have all of these other different groups. They have all these multi-white supremacist groups, and all of them are the same. Be very clear. That's why I don't differentiate between none of them. The Proud Boys, the Three Percenters, Identity Europa, all of that, they're the same damn group. All of them are the same. So what they do, they make it seem like they're diversified. Just like with the oil companies. You know, all oil companies are basically run by the Rockefeller family shit. Rockefeller had a monopoly on oil. The Rockefeller family had a monopoly on oil. One of the wealthiest people in the world, John Rockefeller, he owned all the oil companies. But then they were like, well, you can't have a monopoly on oil. So then they started to diversify. So basically, he started to name the different oil companies, different shit. It was Standard Oil, then Exxon, then BP, you know. So they just started to name them different things, call them different names. It's the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, all he did was just open up new bank accounts and rename them. Run by the same family. You think Mobile, all that stuff. So a lot of people do that. It'll be the same organization running different cells of the organization. A lot of nonprofit organizations do that. A lot of these black nonprofits and a lot of these LGBT nonprofits, it's run by the same group of people. It's the same 3 or 4 white billionaires that's diversifying all of these little organizations. They're running the whole show. So when you hear a new black nonprofit pop up or some other nonprofit pop up, it's the same people doing the same shit. A lot of them connected with Soros. A lot of them are connected, some with Bill Gates. You understand? See, people know how to diversify certain things so that you don't know who they are. See, they all have an agenda. It's leaderless resistance. See, they know how to do things from a leaderless perspective. You don't even know who they are. You have no idea who they are. They're in the back orchestrating, pulling the strings. See, with Black society, they teach us the opposite. They teach us, y'all better have a leader. Black society, black folks need leadership. Don't ever let nobody promote that bullshit ever. That's why you notice, why do y'all think throughout my whole career, I've always told people I'm not no damn leader. I will not let them put me into the leadership category. Every time I do any media, they're always trying to make me a black leader, and I have to correct people all the time. I am not a leader of shit. I am not no leader of nobody. I don't lead nothing. There's a reason why I've been doing that for the last umpteenth years. I am not nobody's fucking leader and don't want to be. They want you to be a leader so that they can put everything on you and target you. You understand? We don't need leadership. That's the last thing we need. We need codification. Everybody needs to have a code. That's how other people operate. They have an agenda, they have a code, and everybody's on that code. So everybody ain't being targeted. That's why a lot of them, when black people are now acknowledging that we, people who are American descendants of slaves, that we are our own ethnic group, notice how they keep trying to centralize that as some type of brick and mortar organization. Notice they keep trying to centralize it. The organization ADOS, the group ADOS. Whenever you hear somebody talking about ADOS being a group or an organization, as if there is a four-wall-ism type of thing with ADOS, you got to watch people like that. They're being deliberately deceptive. You dig? American descendants of slaves and foundational black Americans, that's a lineage. You understand? So the code is the thing that people are following. They're following the code. And the code is in here. It's what you believe in your heart. You understand? And let me tell you something. The white supremacists, see, you got to study them. Tom Metzger and those guys, and then Louis Beam, and these guys, some of these guys are still around, some of these old school white supremacists, but they lay low because they've already prepped the next generation. The alt-right, that's the children and that's the fruit of the seeds that Louis Beam and Tom Metzger and all of those old school white supremacists, they've been planting. The Richard Spencers, those are the fruits of their seeds. You understand? The alt-right, what we see now, all of these white supremacists doing these terror attacks all over the place. And they're being called lone wolves because understand, the media has also been infiltrated by these white supremacists. Remember, people like Baked Alaska, who's a hardcore white supremacist, he worked for BuzzFeed. See, that's why we don't go for that liberal conservative thing. A lot of these so-called right-wingers, they work for some of these liberal organizations. Gavin McInnes founded Vice, which is supposed to be liberal, but he's out there running around with white supremacist right-wingers. There's no such thing as right or left. It's just white supremacy and white extremism. And another thing that's very important, the white supremacists, the Aryan Nation and all these people, they were early on the internet. See, websites like 4chan, that's one place where a lot of their codification is. See, they put a lot of stuff out on 4chan. They did on Stormfront, but really 4chan and all these people, these sites that don't really get taken down. Do you know how many people have been connected, how many murders have been connected with 4chan and 8chan? I mean, they've had congressional hearings on 4chan and 8chan. You know? All they do is, let me tell you something about the internet. See how the white supremacists utilize the internet? Understand this. The commercial internet as we know it started around 1983. The commercial internet for the public as we know it started around 1983. The first, and a lot of folks don't know this, one of the first message boards on the internet in 1983, the first people to connect on the internet were the Aryans. They had a message board online called the Aryan Nations Liberty Net. This goes all the way back to 1983-84. This was Louis Beam and all these guys. You dig? So some of the first message boards was the Aryan Nation connecting with each other. They were connecting with each other early. They understood the need to be anonymous and to be able to connect with each other. It was Louis Beam and the Aryan Nation. Look up what I'm saying. The Aryan Nation, they were some of the earliest pioneers of the internet. A lot of y'all don't know. Let's go. We're going to talk about the internet tonight. This thing you're on. But no, let's go back. We'll go back. Now, you're talking about the internet from a militaristic standpoint. The internet started off as a military tool. The internet, what did they call it? The alternate. What did they call it in the 60s? They called it something else in the 60s. But it started in the 60s. The purpose of the internet, because there was wars going on, the Cold War was happening, and when there's a foreign enemy, they knew how to take care of a foreign enemy. If there was an enemy in Korea, they just send a bomb over there, send some troops over there, and just go try to bomb the place. If there was an enemy somewhere in Africa, they'll just go send some airborne disease over there. But the problem was, how do you deal with enemies on this soil, which were black people? Remember, in the 60s, black people were public enemy number one. And what they needed to do, they needed to have a digital form of COINTELPRO. Remember, in the 60s, the biggest government program, the spy network, was COINTELPRO. J. Edgar Hoover said that black society was enemy number one, not just black extremists. All of black society was being monitored. Damn near every black college organization had somebody infiltrated. You had to have physical agents out there in the field. You had to go out there recruiting informants in black society. They had to go to almost every church in black society and have informants in churches. Every so-called radical group was all infiltrated. People at their jobs, janitors were on the payroll of the FBI working as informants. There were so many informants, physical informants, in the 1960s. We can't fathom how extensive the COINTELPRO network was. And let's forget about the civil rights people, and all of them were infiltrated. That's why Dr. King, everybody around him was a damn agent. Everybody. Malcolm X had agents on him. He had Eugene Roberts on him. I mean, all of these people just had, it was agents all over the place. So we have to understand how that drains resources. Look up Spies of Mississippi if you want to get a good idea. There's a great documentary talking about all these niggas that was on the pay. All these churches were loaded with informants. So that drained a lot of the government resources, having physical people out there jotting stuff down. Then you got to go type it in. Then you got to go file it here. And what made that a problem was that you had to physically put this stuff somewhere, and it made it susceptible to get taken and made public, which is exactly what happened. Early 70s, there was a group called the Weather Underground who broke into an FBI field office, a little small field office, and all right, I'm back. All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. All right, my stream was tripping. I don't know if I was getting a little bit too deep in here. Excuse me. All right, am I good now? Am I good? All right, am I good? All right. Uh-oh. I might have been getting a little bit too heavy. All right, I'm back. All right. I might have been getting a little too heavy in here. Okay. I'm saying too much. They did the same thing. When I was talking about this on Instagram, they wouldn't even let me post it. When I was talking about this on Instagram the other day, they wouldn't let me repost this shit. So, now where was I before I got cut off, family? Where was I? Y'all help me out. Where was I? So we're going to get deeper tonight. We're going to get deeper. Man. Okay. So we're talking about the early internet. Remember, so with COINTELPRO, the documents were stolen and made public. So they're like, oh, we can't have this. These unsecured, we can't have this. We can't have sensitive information laying around like this. You did? We can't have stuff like this laying around. So they had to find a way. We need to be able to spy on black people, spy on the enemy, keep data about them, be able to see what they're doing, see and communicate with other field agents, and be more covert. That was the birth of the internet from a military standpoint. So it was always used to really basically digitize the COINTELPRO program. You understand? Say GPS will. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Now, when we look at the internet, we think, what's this Silicon Valley? Silicon Valley is basically the headquarters of what we think is the commerce version of the U.S. internet industry. Now, Silicon Valley, that was created. Why did they choose that location? Why did they choose Silicon Valley? Why that location to be the central location for the internet and social networking and social media and computers? Why did they choose Silicon Valley up there near the Bay Area? Well, they chose it. That was a military installation. Silicon Valley it was a military place first. It was a military installation. This is where, it was after World War II, a lot of the military, their presence was real big up there. You understand? And the father of Silicon Valley, one of the people they got to help design the computer networks and all that, was Frederick Terman. Frederick Terman is a white supremacist eugenicist. This is why I want y'all to write some of this shit down. Silicon Valley was started and founded by eugenicists, guys. These guys had white supremacists on the brain from day one in Silicon Valley. I want y'all to, I ain't got the tinfoil kufi on. Frederick Terman was a eugenicist, and he's the father of Silicon Valley. Guess who else is the co-father of Silicon Valley? What's the guy who debated our sister? William Shockley. William Shockley is the secondary father of the Silicon Valley. Nobel Peace Prize winner William Shockley. He was clicked in with Terman. Remember, Shockley was an infamous white supremacist eugenicist. Look all this stuff up. Look up William Shockley and Silicon Valley. Why are these white supremacists all clicked in with the computer industry? Now we see why the Aryans had all of the technology before everybody to have all these message boards. Now y'all start to, we connect the dots a little bit. Right? The internet has always been used as a tool to control the black masses and promote white supremacy. It was founded for that. Now we see why these Aryans, they make you think these Aryans are just beer drinking hillbillies, but they got all of this access to computer knowledge and they're all computer savvy. See, no, they love promoting the image of the dumb, one-tooth having hillbilly white supremacists. No. So the internet has always been used to promote white supremacist agendas and to keep tabs on black people. And for a long time, they've been trying to use this technology to undergird the Constitution, and a lot of people have had problems with that. See, they've been very tricky about how they've had to work with the internet to avoid litigation, all this stuff. In the early 2000s, and also remember, some of the first social media boards that were commercially available, one of the first ones was Black Planet. One of the first commercially successful social media pages. I ain't talking about these little seedy stormfronts and all that. These little seedy message boards, that's different. But you know, Black Planet was one of the first commercially successful social media sites. And all of us used to have a Black Planet page back in the day. But the government has always worked with Silicon Valley because it was a military arm of the government. So these computer companies and the government, they've always been bedfellows, man. In the early 2000s, they were working on something called LifeLog. They were working on something, yeah, look at Bill Gates, by the way. Bill Gates is always talking about depopulating this, and Bill Gates is all over there. He got shit, he owns shit all over there in Haiti. But listen, they were the government working with Silicon Valley because they wanted to do mass surveillance on people. So they were going to have something called LifeLog, where basically they admit to whatever you do, they were going to log it in. Whatever you ate, whatever you drank, wherever you went, where you vacationed, they were going to try to log in as many people's information as possible. But there was a lot of governmental people who opposed that. They were like, oh, that's unconstitutional. No, that's invasion of privacy. Nah. A lot of people had a problem with that. So they killed that in 2004. The same year, guess what website popped up in 2004? The same year they said we can't do LifeLog because that's too unconstitutional, because the name of the game was to collect data. The name of the game was to collect data. You dig? Facebook. That same year, Facebook. Y'all refresh the page if y'all can't see me. Some people say they can't see me. Refresh the page. What's up, guys? This is my son. What's up, T? What's up, buddy? What's up, TJ? You had fun? You still got that crocodile? Let me come here, Tail.
Yeah.
What's up? You still got the crispy puppy? Come here, Tail. What's up? I got it. What's up, Tail? What's up, Mateo? Look at Mateo. Where's Siri? Oh, there it is. What's up, Siri? What's up, Mateo? You sleepy? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Did you eat cake?
No, I'm not eating the cake.
You didn't eat the cake? What'd you eat? Oh, he's tired. What you got, the crispy puppy? What's up, my boy? Pick it up there. Man. What's up, Lexi?
They was joining parties.
Yeah, they were crashing parties. Like, that's hilarious. What's going on, Lexi?
Bad.
What's up, T? Come here, T.
TJ.
T, say hi.
Who you got in your hand?
Who's that?
Go show
Come and say hi. What's up? This is my big boy. What's up? He got crispy.
Show them your alligator. Someone was like, why does he like alligators? What kid likes alligators?
Oh, shit. My kid carries around this alligator, this big-ass alligator. He loves strange animals. He likes alligators.
They're like, isn't it scary?
No, hell no. He be putting French fries in his motherfucking mouth. The alligator got chicken grease on it. Be feeding it, trying to sleep with the alligator. My kids are funny. Man, kids, they playing with the crispy puppet. What's up? What's up? That's my little middle boy. What's up, Siri?
Look at your face.
Hey,
Say
Cindy.
hi.
Hi.
Big boy.
Okay,
Man.
All right, Mateo wants to go.
All right, y'all. What you get to eat, man? No, leave that alone.
Yeah, my brother's house. My brother's house.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I still have cake from earlier. Come on.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll be in a minute, guys. He got the Walrus. He got the Herpes Hotel. That's why I like it in my office. They be in here playing with.
Mateo said, TJ, come on.
Okay.
You tell him what to do.
Man, yeah, they be in here playing with the crispy puppet and the Herpes Hotel puppet. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I got a big old family of babies, my big boys. Oh man. All right, so what was I saying? Y'all help me out. Now what was I saying? What was I saying? Yeah, everybody hit that like button, by the way. Hit the like button. But like I'm saying, the internet has always been a tool of surveillance, especially on us, because they sit up and just watch us and monitor us all day. And y'all need to check out that Edward Snowden's book. He goes heavy. Y'all know, with Edward Snowden, he was working for the government, and he was a whistleblower, so he's in exile now, and he's still trying to fight the charges they're trying to put against him. But basically, he helped design a lot of the internet technology, and what happened was they were doing things on kind of a need-to-know basis. They would work in one facility, but they didn't know what the overall thing was. So he was doing this for years. They would put something together, and then they'll take what he put and then took it somewhere else. So he wasn't really sure what the hell he was doing. Then he went to Hawaii. They had him out there working, and he was working in some kind of secret underground bunker out there. He said it was under some kind of pineapple field, some old World War II airplane bunker that's underground out there. And he saw the extent of, basically, he was like, he had unlimited access to everybody's phones. The way he was breaking it down, he was like, look, everybody who has a phone or an internet, we have unlimited access to your shit. If you have a phone or a computer, we have unlimited access to your shit. He was like, I can't do this. This is something, he said, I can't do this, man. This is some bullshit. This is a huge invasion of privacy. You understand? So at least he had morals enough to say, hey, this is evil. You understand? But we better understand how deep the surveillance is. That's one of the reasons I don't like talking on no phones. I don't like talking on phones at all because, there's an old saying in the streets, all phones are tapped. And we better understand something. To start using common sense. Because, say, get a VPN address, yeah? But understanding that people be like, I'm going to use WhatsApp and all that. Yeah, they use tech on us like crazy. But understand, all phones are centralized. Even if you're somewhere in a country that don't even have no damn AT&T service, your phone is centralized. Let me tell you something. You got one of these phones, you got an iPhone. Notice your phone, your iPhone or your Android, notice the time is always right on your phone. No matter where you are on your phone, your time is always right. If your battery dies, there's a central location. They have they have time servers that's next to atomic mechanisms that can't really be destroyed. They have these servers. There's some out here in the U.S. There's some servers in Japan. There's servers in Switzerland, and remember, Switzerland is a neutral country. That's why there's never been no bombs dropped on Switzerland. But your shit's all clicked in with that. That's why the time never changes on your phone. That shit corrects your time anywhere you go. They got atomic clocks. Yes, they got atomic clocks all over. Your phone is clicked in with that. They have atomic clocks and towers all over the world. Your phones are clicked in with that. That's why your time will never change on your phone. Their servers on submarines. Yeah, man. You know, they got wiring all on the ocean floor. They got thick-ass cables and wiring all on the bottom of the oceans. I mean, this shit is deep, man. Yep, it's linked to the atomic clock. That's why, nigga, I done been to places like Easter Island where there ain't no AT&T, and my phone is right there on time. Anywhere you go, your phone gonna work. Right there should show you there's a centralized mechanism for all your communication right there. That should let you know right there. Yeah? No matter if your phone is out of service, no matter where you are, that shit still works on your phone. Yeah? Yeah, they got atomic clocks, and again, they needed to digitalize as much information as possible so that it wouldn't be destroyed, and so they got to keep tabs on everybody. They keep tabs on everybody damn near on the planet. Anybody with a computer or any kind of telecommunications mechanism, they keep tabs on your ass. And now they're trying to get facial recognition technology, and you see a lot of pushback for that. They've been trying to get this facial recognition, and they already got it on your phone. They already got it on your phone, by the way. It's heavy, man. This stuff is real heavy out here. It's real heavy out here. That's why some of these white supremacists, they love staying off the grid, which I ain't mad at them. And that's why they keep us on the grid. This is why I tell people, some of my movies and all that, get it on DVD. Because if they want to just get us really all in check, they could just click a button and shut that damn internet down. And then we stuck if we have everything all digitalized. See, we got to be very careful about digitizing everything. You understand? We got to be very careful about digitizing everything because a lot of the stuff can get hoarded. It can go missing. It'll go missing on your phone. Let me tell you something. If you notice sometimes you'll take pictures on your phone and then your phone crash and then you got to get a new phone, you've lost all those damn pictures. You've lost all your shit. Especially and when you go to Apple and you say, well, yeah, I need to get a new phone. They say, well, did you back up all your other stuff? Oh, no, I didn't. Because we don't really think like that. We ain't trying to back up every time we take a picture. You know what I'm saying? But your pictures are on a cloud. You know, that cloud development, that computer, the cloud that stores all your shit, that lasts forever. You understand? That shit, your shit is still somewhere in a database forever. Pictures that you took on your phone from 2005, that shit is on a cloud somewhere. They got your stuff chilling. Data collection. So now they don't have to do like they had to do in the old COINTELPRO days, go around, walking around, interviewing different people. Man, they can pull up every text message you ever sent, every email you ever sent, every picture you've ever taken. You dig? This technology is real heavy. This technology is real heavy. And the cloud, nigga, that shit could be your information, a picture of you getting your balls lit is probably on a space station satellite somewhere. Some Russian astronauts are probably watching a sex tape for your ass right now. You in? So we better understand how the game works out here. And understand who were the early pioneers of it. A lot of the white supremacists were early pioneers of a lot of internet technology. And again, the 4chan crowd, the YouTube crowd, Facebook crowd, there's a reason why anytime we start talking something pro-black, all of a sudden your page gets taken down, your page gets demonetized. Now we see why, but PewDiePie and all of these damn white supremacists can sit up here and get 5 million damn views a day spewing their white supremacist garbage. So we know who's running everything. They've always run it as a white supremacist enclave. Yeah? Heavy stuff. And, you know, that's why whenever we start talking about what we need to do and we start talking about empowerment, you know, they always send trolls. Somebody just mentioned trolls. They're always sending trolls in our mix. And that's the thing about foundational Black Americans. We're going to have to learn how to get other people out of our mix, online and offline. Whenever we start talking about codifying and getting ourselves together and what we need to do, and then when we see what the problem is and why we haven't been able to do it, you notice a lot of people, they start trying to undermine and sabotage. And we got to get people out of our mix. Excuse me. Let me show y'all some tweets from earlier today that I put up and I was discussing on my Twitter. And y'all need to follow me on Twitter if you do not follow me. Let me show y'all this. This was on Twitter. You know, we're talking about reparations real heavy. We're talking about reparations. We're on code about it. And our good friend, Mr. DJ Vlad, the Russian Jewish fellow, he tweeted yesterday, I fully support reparations for African Americans, possibly in the form of a free college education. Vlad, sit your ass down and be quiet. And people are going in on Vlad, and rightfully so. A lot of folks are going in on Vlad's ass, and rightfully so. Vlad, stop it. Get out the fucking mix, Vlad. Now, y'all know I had my issues with Vlad. You know, Vlad tried to pull a slick one, tried to have Crispy on the show, on his show, right after I was on there, so he can basically try to milk a beef and have Crispy say something slick. And I called him on that, and I called him out, and I went up there and I hollered, and you know, let my position be known. And then Vlad, Crispy did some secret recordings of Vlad, and Vlad was kind of alluding to calling them folks on me, which is a sucker move, I thought that was some sucker shit with Vlad. But Vlad is one of these people who's been eating off Black society for the longest. His whole platform is him eating off Black society. So whenever we start talking about doing something for ourselves, he hops up with some old bullshit, free education. Dude, did Holocaust victims and their families get free education? No, they got tangibles. And you ain't saying nothing about that, Vlad. So don't speak on our business. You're out of line. Get out of our goddamn business. It's disrespectful for you to even mention some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. And I know, Vlad, your wife is Black. That don't count. Just because you got a Black wife, Vlad, don't mean you can speak on Black issues that's pertinent to us. See, people like that, and Vlad likes to talk about, hey, my family wasn't around during slavery, my family came after slavery. They immigrated after slavery. He's one of those kind, but your family benefited from the free labor and all the wealth generated from slavery. See, watch the Vlad types. Watch the Vlad types. Watch these cats who try to, and a lot of people in the dominant society, they love talking about how their grandparent came over from Russia or Germany or Italy or Ireland with $10. You know, they try to make it seem like if their poor grandfather did it, how come black folks are not pulling themselves up by the bootstraps? It's that kind of narrative they like to push. Let me tell you something. All you people whose grandmammy or your funky little grandpappy came from Ireland or Germany or another part of Europe with $4 in his pocket. Well, your granddad had $4 in his pocket, but he had $1 million of white supremacy on his skin. Let's be clear. Yeah, that $4 in his pocket didn't mean shit. He had $1 million worth of whiteness. And they knew that being white was currency. And it would be currency when they got here. So miss me with that. They had $3 when they got here. They got off that boat with all types of tangible benefits waiting on them just for being damn white. So stop that bullshit. You had jobs, housing, preferential treatment. You had all types of shit, especially in the 1800s. Hell, you came over from Europe. You can get on that Homestead Act. All you needed to do is be white and have $10 to file the contract. You get free land in the West. They came because they knew whiteness was currency. You had $1 million worth of whiteness on you. There was a socialism program for white people who believed in white supremacy. That's why they came over. Don't miss me with the $8 in your pocket bullshit. Miss me with that. Miss me. They had all types of tangible benefits waiting on them just for being white. You could get home loans just for being white. Home grants just for being white. You can get in unions that would guarantee jobs just for being white. You understand? Don't ever let them try to run that. My poor granddad came over from Italy and all he had was $5 in his pocket and he made away from him. Fuck out of here. White supremacy is socialism. It's 100% socialism. Tangible benefits and privileges for people classified as white. It's socialism. You dig? Yes, free education, the best schools, everything. That's why you brought your ass over here. Because you couldn't do shit with your little $4 back in Ireland or Italy. It wasn't popping. The system of white supremacy wasn't, it didn't have black folks building up the wealth over there. You see? See, what you didn't have in Ireland, in Germany, and Italy, you didn't have black people building up the damn wealth. You know? So you brought your ass and your $4 and your $1 million of whiteness over here to where we did all the hard work and generated all the wealth for you so that you can eat. So the word is thank you, and I say you're welcome. And that's why don't ever get in our conversation about no damn reparations, Vlad, because your whiteness got you yours. When your family got here, they got the bag based on our labor. You dig? Watch these people. So Vlad's talking about reparations. We were getting into it with some native chick, some Native American chick. We were talking about reparations. Where's her tweets? We were schooling her little ignorant ass, and she tried to be slick. Somebody was like, well, what kind of reparations? I'm like, well, give us the same shit Native Americans get. Give us the same thing the Native Americans get. That's what we want. We want some of the same tangibles that Native Americans get. And then this one woman who's she says she's part of the Cheyenne tribe. She did what a lot of these mixed Indians, because she's hella light. They got like a few drops of Native in them. But remember, the Native Americans were not pale by any standard, the real ones. A lot of these Native people, they'll come in trying to act like they don't get shit. She was like, well, I'm Native and we don't be getting nothing. You're a damn lie. Don't ever let no Native person tell you they don't get nothing. They play that game. I don't be getting nothing. I don't have a casino. What's the name of your tribe? Cheyenne. The Cheyenne they got casinos. What are you talking about? The Cheyenne, they do have casinos. And then when you keep pointing out all the billions and billions and billions of dollars allocated to different Native American tribes and all of these programs that allocate billions of dollars to them, then they'll start trying to concede, well, I only got $3,000 one time. Well, shut the hell up. Stop lying. You're a damn lie. They get all types of money. They love playing that game where they don't get nothing. We talked about that in Hidden Colors 5. Claude Anderson talked about that, how Native Americans be trying to act poor, like they don't be having shit. And they be having all types of casinos. Oh, yeah, give me a damn casino. Yeah, you can give me a casino. Give me a tax-free casino. Shit. Yeah, don't ever let them play that game like they don't get nothing. And then she tried to play little word games. Well, it's not reparations. It was the money was in a federal trust. Okay, you playing word games. Same thing. Same thing. Because of our land was stolen. First of all, and I get on Native Americans about this too. First of all, Native Americans did not contribute anything to the development of the United States government. Let's be very clear. Some of these federally recognized tribes, let's be very clear. When I speak of Native American, I'm talking about some of these federally recognized tribes. They didn't contribute to the development of the United States. Some black people who were indigenous here, because remember, there was a lot of black folks who were already indigenous here who got reclassified. A lot of the black people with the classical black features who were aboriginal to this land, they were reclassified as Negro and just put on a plantation. So this is why some of your old black folks, oh, hell, I'm part Native American. Oh, just shut up, nigga. You know, they play that game, but there's some real black people who were Native Americans. Some of the Folsom people. A lot of people. You dig? And this place, for the most part, was a wilderness because nobody owned the land. It was a wilderness prior to the development of the United States. Black people were the ones who cleared the brush and built all of this shit. Let's be very clear. We got to put those native folks and many of them $5 Indians in check on their bullshit. And not only that, some of the so-called 5 civilized tribes, some of them were slave owners too. So we were in bondage by them as well. So they're going to have to break bread too. And there's already treaties that state that we're supposed to get some of that paper from them. So when they start talking, I'm like, well, let me go get my bag so you can fill it up with some of that paper you owe. You dig? They love to try to act like they don't be getting nothing. Man, some of those, there's a lawsuit now, not a lawsuit, but there's an investigation now. There's these contracts where they give for small businesses to Native Americans, and all these $5 Indian white people are getting these damn contracts, these lucrative federal contracts. And they're doing an investigation because they're finding out all these white people who's claiming to be Native American ain't Native American. We've been telling y'all that for years. All of these white people claiming Native American ain't got one damn drop of Native in them. Most of these light people that you see talking about they Cherokee, they ain't got one drop of Native American in them. These are $5 Indians, fake as hell. These Elizabeth Warrens and all that. They love claiming some damn Cherokee, Choctaw. You're nothing. You ain't got none of that in you. And lying their asses off. The Native Americans were never, ever white. They weren't even light-skinned. They weren't even red-skinned, if you want to go there. Many of them, the Native Americans, if you go look at old pictures of them, many of them were damn near jet black. That's why they had names like Blackfoot and all that stuff. Native Americans weren't light by any stretch of the imagination. So every white person and their mama put a feather in their hair, and they're talking about they goddamn a Creek Indian. You dig? The Native Americans, some of them were damn near jet black. The Mojave Indians, these were jet black Native Aboriginal people. The Ohlone Indians out here, damn near jet black people. You dig? So we have to understand history. We got to understand history. And also, we got to quickly check the coon train too, because there's a lot of coons. Whenever we see coons hop up, talking about what we shouldn't get, and there's one, I really quickly checked this one coon. Where is he? Hold on, let me find this. This one dude here, let me get his tweets. Hold on 1 second. This one dude here. Yeah, you watch some of these coons out here. Just going on and on how about we shouldn't get reparations this and we shouldn't get reparations that. Okay, where is this dude? Hold on, I'm looking up his tweets now. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, where is this? Because a lot of these people want to waste your damn time. Okay. Where is this? Watch out for these time-wasting Negroes who are trying to throw salt in the mix. Where is this nigga? Okay. All right, let me pull this dude's tweets up and watch these cats. Okay. Because whenever you start seeing people talking about how we shouldn't get no damn reparations, where's this dude's tweets? Excuse me. Because he started tweeting me because I was going back and forth with that Native chick, and he was like, I would agree, Native Americans did not receive reparations. The land was under the treaty. I don't understand the reparations argument at all. France brought slaves to the Americas, so did Spain. Okay, they making up these straw man arguments, and I said, look, France, Spain, and Britain, they're being held responsible for their role in slavery. The Caribbean nations and CARICOM, they're campaigning for the reparations. So we're seeking reparations from our country. And then he started, I look at slavery over the course of human history, a stain against humanity. I'm like, dude, okay, dude, get the fuck out of here with that dumb talk. When cats start talking this talk, see, when they start talking that Candace Owens talk there was slavery all over the place. Slavery ain't unique. Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn about slavery being all over? I don't give a damn. What the hell does that have to do with me getting what I'm supposed to get here? I don't care about what happened somewhere else. I live here in the United States where my family built the wealth. That's what I care about. The hell you talking about Rome and Greece and all that Sambo babble? Who cares? When people start talking that, this is third generation immigrant coon talk. Always know that. When they start talking that talk, and this dude tried to pretend, because somebody was asking him, they asked him about his family status. Nigga, where are you from? Nigga, they were like, is your family, are they foundational Black Americans? They descended of slaves? And he tried to lie. Hold on. He tried to lie. Where is that? Oh, yeah, he tried to lie right here. Somebody asked him about his family. Oh, yeah, he said, let me ask you. Somebody named Butter Biscuit Blocker. Does your family descend from slavery in the U.S.? He said, yes, on my father's side, and I visit the cemetery in North Carolina, and I still own fractional deeds of land passed down to me and my family that was deeded to sharecroppers' land. My mother's side was born in a free state. So he's given the impression that he's the descendant of slaves on both sides of his family. All right? Then I called his ass out because I looked up some of his tweets. I looked up some of his tweets. Hold on. And this fool, my grandfather was from India. So this nigga family's from India. So he tried to lie and act like he was a foundational black American. We caught his butter biscuit eating ass lying. We found one of his old tweets admitting that his dad was from India and his granddad rather. And look, my grandparents would not allow us to use slang. So these were some anti-black American Indians, some Kamala Harrises. He's another Kamala Harris type who taught him how to be a coon. His whole page is anti-black American gibberish. Watch these Negroes. See, all you got to do is do a little digging. You get them every time. Whenever somebody's talking, disrespecting foundational black American ancestors, these are people who ain't really from here, or these are people who have an anchor baby mentality. I want y'all to understand that. Talking down on reparations, that's disrespectful to the Harriet Tubmans. That's disrespectful to the Sojourner Truths. That's disrespectful to the Frederick Douglasses of the world, of our ancestry, of our lineage. Why would you do that? You would only do that for two reasons. One is if you're being directly paid by a white supremacist organization to do it. That's one. But if you see a Negro who is not being directly paid by a white supremacist organization, and they're talking against reparations for black people, these are Negroes who are either first, second, or third generation immigrants, or they're anchor babies. Every time. And they come from countries where they have a dual allegiance. And that's why we can't have dual allegiance niggas talking about what we're supposed to get. When it comes to reparations talk, like Candace Owens, she's a dual allegiance Negro. These dual allegiance Negroes cannot speak on what's in the best interest of black Americans unless they rebelled against their former culture. Most of these people, if they have a dual allegiance, the allegiance they will have will be to us and our resources and a culture that is decidedly anti-black American. Let me say that again. I want y'all to feel what I just said. The problem with these dual allegiance niggas is they'll have an allegiance to our resources and an allegiance to a society that is already anti-black American. So you can't really advocate for both. You can't be pro-black American and then have an allegiance to an anti-black American culture. And all of these cultures, if you look at them, are anti-black American. Let's just keep it 100. This dude's father, his granddad's from India. India is a decidedly anti-black American culture. They can't stand black Americans. They can't stand black people over there. They treat the Dravidians horrible over there. This is why we don't want Kamala Harris. This is why black people have rejected Kamala Harris based on her track record. She's coming out here dancing, eating barbecue sandwiches and all that. But your Indian side is locking niggas up though, Kamala. See, your barbecue sandwiches and your dancing, and that's one thing. But the Indian allegiance has you locking niggas up left and right, baby. That's why we can't rock with you. These folks come from the chick playing Harriet Tubman. She comes from that coon element. And all of my brothers and sisters in Africa are not coons, but there's a coon contingency that they allow over here, and she's from that, which is decidedly anti-black American. You dig? And when we start pointing out and distancing ourselves from the negativity of all of these other non-ADOS cultures, a lot of people want to cry foul. When we start pointing out some of the negative things that were brought into black society from these groups, they want to call foul. Like the other day when I was talking about all that damn twerking and popping your ass all over the place, that came from outside cultures. People want to cry foul. When we talk about hood radishness and ratchetness and dusty niggatry, a lot of that came from outside cultures. And then when we point out that this is from outside cultures, people want to cry foul. When people talk about crime in Chicago, do y'all know how many immigrant families are in Chicago from East Africa, West Africa, the Caribbean? Do y'all know that when we talk about Chicago, and some of these other places? See, that's one thing we don't look at. Where are these niggas from doing all these crimes? And then I've had immigrant coons hop in my mentions. Oh man, Tariq, why are you pointing out all the negatives of immigrants? Why are you pointing out all the negatives, man? You must be MAGA. That's not an insult. That doesn't bother me. Why are you pointing out all the negatives of immigrants? Why are you doing that, Tariq? You mean the same way immigrants put up websites like World Star Hip Hop and showed all the negatives of black Americans? Remember when people were complaining about how negative World Star, which was put together by Haitian, Q was Haitian and he died not too long ago. Remember when black people were saying, hey, Q, the shit you putting up on World Star, brother, that don't make us look good. That kind of makes black people look bad. Q was sitting up in his mansion like, hey, I don't care. Because Q wasn't one of us. Q had no problem pandering to the white supremacist crowd. Then he died. Q died. You dig? Look at Loving Hip Hop, Mona Scott, with all that negativity with all those immigrants, by the way. But those immigrants on Loving Hip Hop, that reflects on us. You put all these cuckoo bird fucking immigrants on Loving Hip Hop. Mona's Haitian, by the way. You put all these crazy looking ass Puerto Rican and all these crazy looking ass folks on TV, looking crazy, talking crazy, fighting, and then that becomes black culture. That comes back on us. No. Hold that. Cardi and all that. That's y'all. No, don't put that on us. Media takeout. All these negative stories about black people. Showing black people in a negative light. Where is he from? He's from Uganda, the guy who runs that site. Madame Noir. Madame Noir is so anti-black American, it's pathetic. They have, hold on, let me show y'all some of the stuff. You gotta see some of their stuff is just infamously anti-black American. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show y'all some of that. Let me show y'all just some of the stuff they put on. Hold on, let me show y'all this. Just to give you an example of their get down. Hold on, come on thing. I don't want that. Let me just show y'all some of the filth that comes from Madame Noir. You know, and why, whenever we start talking about something positive, Madame Noir has everything under the sun negative about black people. And anytime we try to do something positive, they're the first ones shitting on it. Hold on. This is, I'm showing you their website. I'm not gonna even tell you, I wanna show you the article. Why I stopped dating black American men when I was ready for marriage. Now, this is supposed to be the pulse of black, a mouthpiece for black folks in America. Written by a Nigerian writer. I think she's Nigerian. She has a long West African name. This kind of filth, they put a lot of this type of filth about black Americans on there. These people have been shitting on black Americans for years. Posting that type of garbage. But we ain't supposed to point out the negatives from them and distance ourselves from that. Madame Noir has a gang of articles. How to get you a zaddy. Black American men ain't shit. Fuck Hidden Colors. They got a whole bunch of articles talking down on Hidden Colors. Something positive. Anytime we do something positive, they're the main ones shitting on it. It's a Nigerian dude who runs that, and most of the writers are Nigerian and West African. And all they do is sit up and put up anti-black American articles on that site. That's all they do. That site is known for zaddy worshiping and anti-black American garbage. Shade Room is another one. I've called them out and they know me and I know them at Shade Room. They're West African who run Shade Room. And Shade Room, I'm kind of cool with the owner. I just don't like that anti-black American shit. And, you know, and I had some issues with them where I had to pay to promote one of the Hidden Colors films and they low-key didn't want to do it. And people called them out, then they went on and did it. So they were funny style. I never really want to fuck with them after that. You dig? But yeah, they put up Bossip, another one. A lot of Nigerians run that. They just put up anti-black American stuff all day. You dig? They put up zaddy worshiping, Bossip, Madame Noir. All of these black sites are run by non-foundational black Americans, and all they do is put up anti-black American and very negative things that reflect negatively on black American society. And I've talked about, and Lipstick Alley, they're the worst. Lipstick Alley is basically a bunch of anti-black American immigrants on there. A lot of them. Lipstick Alley is full of anti-black American immigrants. The Grapevine, there's a lot of them anti-black American immigrants on there. That Grapevine, they wanted me to be on the Grapevine show. Yeah? Your Lipstick Alley is real bad with the anti-black American hatred. That's all they do. Sit up and talk down on black Americans. DJ Academics, my man Nipsey was getting at his ass. Academics, ain't he Jamaican? And let me say, Academics at one point, he was doing some of those Chicago videos like, yeah, look at black crime in Chicago. He was doing that type of shit. He was doing some real funny style Sambo type of shit. Desus and Mero. Two Caribbean immigrants who engage in these goofball stereotypes of black Americans. You understand? Fort Harriet is a bedwench site. It's a bedwench site. That's all it is. And notice they got Fort Harriet. They try to put our ancestry in there, Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman wasn't down with all that bedwenching. Yeah, Lipstick Alley is bedwench, transgender, anti-black American central. You dig? But these folks, they made a complete industry out of negative images of foundational black Americans. They've created a damn cottage industry of it. And when we say, hey, you know what? We're distancing ourselves from that negativity. Those are your folks doing a lot of that negative shit. And then when we call them out and show the negatives in their society, they want to cry foul. No. Because all of these sites I named, one thing, and I knew something was up. This is why I started to recognize a certain pattern with them. With Bossip, Madame Noir, Shade Room, and all these folks. I noticed a pattern. Hold on one second. Let me see something. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I always notice that they would always show black folks negatively, but when it came to them, they would always show these weddings of them. They would show them getting married and all these things. They always show these Nigerian weddings and these Ghanaian weddings and all this. They show all the positive images of them. But when it came to us, it's always some ratchet shit. I'm looking at Madame Noir because Madame Noir, they do this too. Shade Room is real good for doing that. But all these sites, it's always, every time they would talk about somebody from Nigeria or Uganda, it would always be extremely positive. Like, wait a minute. And I kept seeing that over and over again. Media Takeout, it stood out because I'm like, wait a minute. Every other thing on this site is how this black person ain't shit. This black person went to jail. This black American got a baby mama. This black American ain't. All of these negative stories. And all of a sudden, such and such businessman in Nigeria just got married and his wedding was extravagant. I'm like, okay. And I started to notice the only positive things were foreigners. That started standing out. I said, wait a minute. Why? Wait a minute. Because all these sites, I noticed another thing. None of them will promote my movies, and my movies are the most popular movies in black society. Not only that, even in mainstream society, in white society, mainstream, global, not only would they not promote my movies, they would talk negatively about my movies. They would talk, all of these sites would talk negatively about Hidden Colors. I'm like, whoa. What's up with these people? And they're using the same language. Why would they hate on black history? Why would they hate on black history? You dig? So I started putting two and two together. I'm like, oh, okay. These folks don't like black Americans, period. And then I started looking at Shea Butter Twitter. When you look at the Feminista Jones, why is she clicked in with these white supremacists and she sits up and just denigrates black Americans all day? Well, her family's Jamaican. You start putting two and two together, you see what the hell the business is. Yeah, I might have to design algorithms because I look at patterns, and when things start happening over and over, I catch on to it. That's some street shit. You got to learn that on the streets. When you start seeing patterns, you kind of, like, when you're driving around, you can kind of look at the headlights of a car to see if that shit might be a cop car. You look at patterns. When you see a car driving around too much, you look at, oh, who is that? Okay, I done seen that same car twice. When you've been on some street shit, you learn how to pick up patterns real fast. Who is this nigga? What this nigga got on? When somebody walk up to you, somebody approach you, you looking at everything. Is this nigga wired? What is this nigga saying? Why is this nigga using people's government names? You start asking questions. Who is this nigga? Who sent you, bro? Who you with? What this nigga got on? Nah, this nigga must not be from here. He ain't from here. What set you from, bro? Who you know? You look for patterns, man. So then you start looking at patterns in everything. You start looking at patterns in everything. Yeah? Now, you can look at a certain car, especially dupes in the dope. If you've been around the dope game, you can look at a car and tell that certain cars you don't fuck with. There's certain cars that are narcs. Back in the day, cats could spot a narc car a mile away. One thing, the universal narc car was like a a Taurus, a Ford Taurus. They said, nigga, if you sell dope to a motherfucker in a Ford Taurus, you deserve to go to jail. Nigga, if you ever sell some dope to a Ford Taurus, you deserve to get thrown under the damn jail. Nigga, if you look up narc car, a Ford Taurus should be right there in the description. Nigga. Man. Yeah, anything Ford, basically, but a Ford Taurus. Man. Nigga, that car has narc, informant, undercover all over it. You just write undercover on your car, nigga. We know what you are. That's why them bait cars don't be working. Niggas, niggas don't be falling for them bait cars out here. You can spot a bait car all a mile away. They had to go all the way to Lancaster to do some of those bait cars, and a couple of hood rats fell for it. But niggas, you didn't see brothers getting in them damn bait cars out here. You walking down the street and there's a Ford Taurus sitting there, or you see a Lincoln Navigator sitting there running with the keys in it. You already know. Dudes, you know, Pat. Just like in Chicago, when they had that bait truck with them Nikes in it, niggas saw that shit from a mile away. They're like, if y'all don't get this bullshit out of here, get this shit out of here. A truck full of Nikes. Go home, officer. They ran the police out of there. You dig? But speaking of Chicago, like I said, who's doing some of those killings? We know law enforcement is doing a lot of them because we see they're in some of these neighborhoods setting up bait cars and bait trucks. And a lot of these shootings, because I've seen and I've studied some of the cases, and I've seen some of the cats involved in some of these high-profile cases where they done shot some kids or whatever. A lot of these dudes, some of these dudes are like second generation immigrants from like East Africa. There's a lot of second and third generation immigrants in Chicago. You dig? I'm not taking credit for some black on black crime with some niggas from another damn culture. I ain't taking credit for that. You dig? And also, there was a story just came out the other day. 90% of the drugs in Chicago, the Mexicans bring that in. El Mencho, that's a drug lord out there from Mexico. They're looking for him now. El Mencho. 90% of the damn drugs in Chicago comes from one drug lord from Mexico. It's a dude named El Mencho who supplies 90% of the drugs out there in Chicago. Don't miss me with all that. Black folks, just other people bring the bullshit in. You understand? Other people. See, we get the brunt of that. When you got these Mexican immigrants and drug lords bringing all this shit in, black folks got to absorb that crime. Look up El Mencho. And a lot of the violence that came with a lot of the drug game, and I talked about that before, a lot of that in the 80s, that started with the Shower Posse, those Jamaican dudes bringing all that gunplay to the game. Cats used to sell dope, but the violence wasn't there with it. You dig? And it wasn't at epidemic proportions. Yeah? It's always from the outside, but then we got to take, we got to take the heat for it. And I understand this. And I talked about this the other day. I talked about why they made certain drugs illegal. And I want y'all to understand this. It's all a game. Black folks, we end up doing time for it, but it's orchestrated by the white supremacists. Understand this. The white supremacists, they make money off the legal drug game and the illegal drug game. I want y'all to understand. They make money off the legal drug game and they make money off the illegal drug game. And I broke this down a few weeks ago. Like I said before, a lot of drugs in this country, heroin was legal, cocaine was legal, marijuana was legal all over before they made it illegal. But now they're taxing it and they got all these weed shops up now because now we can grow it here now and different chemical strains of it. So now they can add different chemicals and now cultivate various strains of weed here in the U.S. You don't have to go to Mexico no more. But cocaine, like I said, was perfectly legal here. But in order to get cocaine, you got to get the coca leaves, which is indigenous to South America. So they said, wait a minute. If we have such a demand, and the Coca-Cola company used to have cocaine in it. Coca-Cola is rising. It was on the rise of being a multi-gazillion-dollar industry. So now that it's on the rise and there's a high demand for the Coca-Cola and all of these Coke products and cocaine and medicine, now there's going to be a rise and a demand for legitimate coca leaves. So you're going to make these Colombian countries a superpower because of their in-demand export. So they say, wait a minute, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't make them a superpower because they're going to be competitive to us and we got to be the big dogs on the field. So they said, this is what we're going to do. We're gonna make it illegal. We got to make the cocaine illegal because now people are getting hooked on it. We see that this thing, people are going to be addicted to it, but we can't make Colombia a superpower. So what we're going to do, we're going to make it illegal. We're going to put out stories about black men being coked out, raping white women, so that everybody will want to make it illegal. And that's what they did. They did the same thing with weed. A lot of weed was coming in from Mexico. They said that it was black men high on weed, black men high on cocaine, raping white women, so they made it illegal. So then they pushed the economy underground because they didn't want Mexico to be a superpower. They didn't want Colombia to be a superpower. So what they did, when you make it illegal, you can still make money off of it. The United States can just have it go underground. They allow it to be sold illegally. They just turn a blind eye. So now certain drug lords, the key word is allow. They allow them to get a little cartel going on the underground. The key word is allow. Let them get their weight up. After they become these big billion-dollar drug kingpins with a whole network of money being made and drugs being distributed, they'll say, well, we're going to do a drug raid. We're going to seize all your resources and assets. So they get the money anyway. They let a Pablo Escobar get built up and then go seize all that money. Let him make all that money. They make sure he makes a lot of money. Then they go seize it. They let El Chapo, the operative word is let. They let him get big, let him get a lot of money, let him get a big network going on. Then when the time comes, when he gets to a certain mark, half a billion, a quarter billion, they just wait on that number to hit. Did he hit the number? He hit it? Okay, cool. Send them in. Then they start seizing all that money. So they make the money. The country doesn't become an economic legitimate superpower. They keep the country stagnant. They can control the country, control the politics. It's a game. They keep the country poor. You're not a legitimate superpower, and you still make money off of them. You know? It's a chess move. And then they get to build up the mass incarceration system and get all the black people and then make money off the black people in the prison system. It's a big chess move they're doing, man. It's a big-ass chess move they're doing. It's a huge chess move. Yeah? Because remember, Freeway Rick's plug was an operative for the CIA. Blandon. His plug was an operative for the CIA. They sent him in to... Wait, okay. Oh, yeah, it's not. What you about? What you doing? watch Power? Yeah, I watched it last night. Snowfall on that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And also, yeah, a lot of Jamaicans were, they got them to sell drugs all over the country back in the 80s. Um, Haiti was a big drug hub. That was a real big cocaine distribution outlet. A lot of folks don't know that. I learned that being down there in Haiti because Haiti has a lot of mountains, and in Haiti you can't detect those drug planes out there in Haiti. Haiti's very mountainous country, so you couldn't detect those drug planes. Also, a lot of cats were bringing in drugs from Belize to LA. A lot of dudes, and I talked about LA, a lot of cats got Belizean connections, so there was a lot of drugs coming from down there in Belize. That was a hub, and they would bring it up here to LA. Yeah. Yeah. So it's heavy. It is heavy. It is a heavy game. But so yeah, they allow this type of stuff to happen. They allow it to happen. The intelligence folks run the Caribbean. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, we talked about all that stuff. Y'all better get Hidden Colors 5. We talked about a lot of that stuff in Hidden Colors 5. We got real deep in that in Hidden Colors 5. Oh yeah, the Cash App. Shout out to D Tubman. Let everybody know what the Cash App is. For those who want to get to the Melanoid Ministries, it's KingFlex 818. Shout out to Arden Plumbing. That's our brother. He's always giving something. But KingFlex 818. That's the Cash App. Oh yeah, the Amber Geiger case. We're gonna see what goes down with that this week. We'll see if a verdict comes in. It's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm still watching that case to see what goes on with that. Where can you stream HC5? You can stream it on HiddenColorsFilm.com. Yeah, The Godfather of Harlem. Has that come on yet? I want to see that with Forrest Whitaker. That looks good. My man James Small, who was in Hidden Colors 5, he was a consultant on that. James Small was a consultant on that. What's that, baby? Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. You about to get the whole series? Yes. And I'm working on a book now. I'm finally working on this book I've been promising I'm working on for the longest. I haven't written a book in a long time, so I'm working on this Race Baiter book. Kind of a memoir, and it's talking about some of my views on race, so I'm working on that. I might have to go somewhere secluded to really get down on it. Somebody said hi, Peanut. She's over here chilling. Yeah, Bumpy Johnson was a real one. I want to watch it. What network is it on? Where can I watch it? It's on Epic, but what the hell is Epic? Yeah, Hulu was a classic. You grew up in Miami? Yeah, man. Epics. What is Epics? What is it? Is that a cable network or is it Epics? Okay. What the hell network is that? Oh, it's a streaming service. Okay, it's an app. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. We talked about Malcolm and Bumpy running with each other. We talked about that. It's a new streaming service. Shit. So I got to get a damn streaming. I want to get another streaming service. Shit. Oh, okay. So can I watch it on cable? Because I got Stars already. Oh, it's a movie channel. Okay. It's part of Stars. Okay. Hopefully I already have it. Because I ain't trying to download all these goddamn subscription-based sites, that's the new lick right now. That's what Lexi was telling me. Disney is about to do that. They're about to have their own streaming site, which would be smart to have all the Disney stuff on there. I would get that with my kids. They love Disney stuff. We took the kids to see, what's the movie we saw, 47 Meters Down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just saw that. Jamie Foxx's daughter was in that career. She was very good in there. I liked her in there. That movie, it's like, it started getting on my nerves a little bit. And Byron Allen, he produced that movie. That was through Entertainment Studios. It was the special effects and all that stuff was good. It was about them dipping down. They were diving, and there was these blind sharks and shit.
Same thing. That's the second one.
Yes. Okay.
Same concept.
Okay.
Basically.
My thing is, like, towards the end, every time the girls kept getting off, they were about to be saved, and every time they get ready to get out the damn boat, another shark come eat their ass and pull them. Yeah, they kept trying to get on the boat, and it just kept happening over and over. I said, okay, goddamn. So every time they get ready, they swimming for safety, the shark comes and yank her back in the water. Then they fighting the shark. Then another girl go save her, and then she save her, get her on the boat. Then she tried to get on the boat, then the shark get her, and then they keep having to go back and save each other. I'm like, okay, goddamn. Like, if y'all don't get y'all asses on this boat or get ate up or get something done so I can go put my kids to sleep. Because this shit is just going on. I got to see the Wu-Tang series. I got to see that too. I got to see that too.
He was like, I want to go to the birthday.
So he just went and sat at their table?
They're like, no, come over here, come over here.
Oh, Lord.
And they're like, cake. They're like, he can sit down here. Some cake.
Lord.
They say happy birthday and shit.
Mateo's ass bum rushed somebody's birthday party. Were the white people? Who were they?
It was, I don't know what they were. It was something. It was like Arab or something, but it was wrong.
Yeah.
That Arab is over here mixed up.
Look at Mateo's ass trying to be inconspicuous. He ran just sat at somebody's table.
Did you see the other thing?
You don't know none of these people. He just sat his little ass down there, looking conspicuous, trying to look low key, trying to finesse some cake out their ass. We don't know none of these people. Man. But anyway, man, let me get out of here, guys. Go to hiddencolorsfilm.com, everybody. First, I want to thank everybody who got hiddencolorsfilm.com. Thank y'all for getting it. It's still a top seller. Y'all can stream it now, watch it now. And I thank everybody for not bootlegging it. That's another thing. Everybody's on code, which is a great thing. Get this movie, share it with your family, especially your children. Some of the language is a little coarse in the movie, but you need to watch the film. You can stream it right now, hiddencolorsfilm.com. You can click the link below, hiddencolorsfilm.com. Ladies and gentlemen, you there? And Bug Breaking coming soon. We're going to start production on that soon. All right? Y'all follow me on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me at Tariq Elite on Instagram. If you're not following me. All right? Holla.